Hello, this is Andy Mangum from the Regional Minister for the Christian Church in the Southwest, and I am excited to be a part of a collaboration with the Christian Church in Virginia. Bill Spangler-Dunning is my normal collaborator, but he is not able to be on this meeting. But before we let July 2026 get out of the way, we wanted to do a podcast on the Christmas in July and the things that churches can do to begin thinking about their Advent, Christmas, Epiphany experience. And so we kind of have folk from all of those phases. The Reverend Paula Brooks is the pastor of the First Christian Church in Canyon, Texas. So she'll talk a little bit about some exciting things that they do before Christmas. And then Donna Schmidt and Leanne Seabright and Chrissy Lassiter are here from Northway Christian Church, who will talk about the work that they do on Christmas Eve that involves children and live animals, as well. Bruce Froge from Cypress Creek Christian Church, Reverend Bruce Froge, Reverend Rusty Wright at First Christian Church, Corpus Christi, both have some longstanding traditions around Epiphany, but things that seem innovative if you've not been a part of them before. And so this Energy for Innovation is meant to spur our excitement about what we can do this Christmas to glorify Christ and to draw people into the fellowship of the church. So let's start with Paula Brooks. Paula, talk to us a little bit about First Christian Church in Canyon and what you all do to make that exciting. Tell us about the Grinch.
Okay. Well, I have been here for 3.5 years serving as their minister. I came from First Christian Church in Midland and was the associate there for 15 years. And each year we did 5 big events. I wrote 2 in December. So when I came to Canyon, it's a much, much smaller church than the church in Midland. It's an older church. Everyone is, it ranges from ages 72 to 86. And a lot of them have difficulty kind of getting around. But I wanted us to find ways to be a part of the community. So I kind of followed off a good friend of mine and colleague from Grace Christian Church in San Angelo. They always did breakfast with the Grinch. Well, I wanted to change it up a little bit. So I came up with the idea of Happy Hula Days with the Grinch. And especially the ladies of the church kind of took this on, especially 2 of them. And they turned our fellowship hall into Whoville. We invited the community that first, and they've never done anything like this before. That first Saturday that we did it in 24, we're about to do our 3rd one. We had over 60 people come. Now, Canyon's only a town the size of about 14 to 15,000. So the church members were all excited because they didn't think it was going to work, and it went off really well. And so we did it a 2nd year. Well, Andy was in town, and he came to see our setup. And he got kind of excited and thought about doing an Advent sermon series on the Grinch Who Stole Christmas. And a friend and I got together and with a little help from, shall I say, computer, we came up with a sermon series. And it just so happens that it also each week uses the same name of Advent candles that we do. And so that's our plan for this year, is not only to have the Happy Hula Days with the Grinch on the first Saturday in December, but to also include a sermon series about the Grinch Who Stole Christmas and apply it to our faith and a new perspective of what Christmas means.
Beautiful. What do people experience when they come into the fellowship hall at First Canyon, and what is the journey for them when they come into Whoville?
Okay, they're first greeted by a really bright and colorful opening just outside the church. And they're greeted and they're invited to register so that we can contact them later, or just register for a door prize. Then we have tables all set up for activities for them to do while they're waiting. We have an area for different kinds of games that they can play. But I think the highlight for all of them are two characters. One is we have the traditional Santa Claus that they can go and sit on his lap and tell him what he wants. But the other one is we have been blessed with an amazing person to play the Grinch. And I'm a little bit, I guess, excited about that and proud of it, because it's one of my nephews. And he is just a comedian, and he is all over the place. He gets everyone excited of any age, and especially the children. And then we also have that an older person in the church left to us is a 6-foot animated Grinch that's motion detected, that when you walk by it, it starts singing. And we have his little dog, Max, too. So we have a lot of activities, and some of the crafts that they do are faith-based. It's not all commercial, but I want them to understand the importance of what Christmas is about and who it's about.
Beautiful.
And we have refreshments, and we give out about 5 or 6 door prizes, and all the door prizes are Grinch related.
Nice. So if a church said, we think we can make a Whoville in our fellowship hall and invite our community, what would they need to be doing in July, August, September to start getting ready?
Start building it. The first year we did it, the one church member that I really wanted to be involved, who's very creative, wasn't going to be there. And then her plans changed. So in about a 2 to 3 week time period, she and several others and myself literally built Whoville out of cardboard pieces and decorated it. And it took 3 weeks nonstop almost to get all that done. Whereas last year, all we had to do was pull it out of storage and put it up, and we were done in 2 days. No. But it takes a lot of time to do it. Well, and some of them were really, some of the members were really surprised. They'd never done anything like that. They still haven't figured me out, I don't think, but they were really excited the day of. Yeah. And there was 1 or 2 that admitted to me that they just didn't think it was gonna take place, but they were proven wrong.
Nice. Yeah, and something you said to me as we walked through there that inspired this conversation actually is small churches can do big things.
Right.
So I think, thank God for that. Very good.
When you only have an average of attendance on Sunday morning of 22 to 25, there's a lot of things they can do.
Yeah.
Even at their age, and sometimes the lack of mobility that some may have, or the stamina, they can still do it. Yeah. And I'm hoping that they are learning that very well.
The Christian Church, Northway, has a children's service that we do every Christmas Eve, right around 3-4 o'clock. And so let's talk a little bit about the script, and then about the costumes and setting and the live animals. And so just narrate for me what happens on the Christmas Eve service.
We can talk about the script, but that's kind of the only part. Like, we really do divide and conquer on this.
That's why we're all here.
Oh, good. So, like, with the script, it's a simple script. The idea is that anybody, mainly children, but honestly, if an adult wanted to, I'm going to let them, wants to show up and be a part of retelling the Christmas nativity story, that's what we're going to do. Like, you show up, we try to pick out a few of the main characters, just so we know they're covered by kids who we know can follow the instructions pretty well. Past that, we're going to hand you a costume and an area to stand in. So you may be a shepherd, you may be a sheep, you may be an angel, you may be a cow. You may make up your own animal because you didn't like the one you got assigned. But the idea is there's no rehearsal, all of the prep, like that. That's why this team, it's why it's divide and conquer, right? We do all of that beforehand. And so the script mostly stays the same. And then I try to edit it from year to year to fit what else is going on in the life of the church. And then I don't do any of the rest of it, and the rest of them have to tell you. Leanne probably has to do more of the overseeing and checking and pulling everybody together. But that's the script itself doesn't change much. We stick with the basic story, and we'll add or take away based on if there's a theme we have that year, if something comes up that we just think this is the year to pay attention to, or we needed to last year and don't this year. Other than that, it is Mary and Joseph going and Jesus being born.
And I'll just,
Okay, go ahead,
sorry, I'll just
Leanne.
step in and I'll let Donna speak as well. But it's impromptu, basically the children's pageant. But they come in and kids from the neighborhood love to join in on this. They know, and some of them have been, I was an angel last year. I want to be this year. And what gets me is the first time I experienced this, I thought, they're just putting tissue paper on these kids' heads with bands around them. Is that really? And they love it. So I maybe I'll let Donna here run through the costumes, but I do want to say that the script in itself, so the children are not saying anything, right? It's now the shepherds come in and so they follow that, and we have adults at the back of the space that we're in, because we're not in the sanctuary, we're in the fellowship hall, which used to be a sanctuary, the sanctuary before the new one was built. So, and we have adults back with the kids to help them, prompt them to say, okay, now you go. And we have structures set up. There's an inn set up, or an innkeeper kind of doorway. And then there's a stable set up. And I will say that the facilities person drives out to, I don't know where, I was trying to ask him today, but he drives out to somewhere that's somewhat far to get hay, bales of hay. So we have hay set up. And then the costumes are quite doable and manageable. I will say the worship committee takes care of setting up the nativity set of animals. That's what it's called, nativity set of animals, from a company called Kathy's Critters. And so they bring those in. And what I wanted to add about music is that throughout the script, we do have congregational singing, because we bill it as a family Christmas service. And so we are singing O Little Town of Bethlehem, and just in appropriate parts for the story. Donna, did you want to go in and talk about then the everything we need for the children to pull off this impromptu story?
Sure. I mean, it's pretty straight ahead. The only people we sort of designate, I believe it's now the oldest girl and boy get the first dibs for Mary and Joseph. And we have for many years gone by, costumes upstairs, but they're really, basically a T-shaped, easy cloth costume, and, like a little headdress or something for Mary and Joseph. But everybody else, like Leanne said, it's just literally a piece of tissue paper, different colors, maybe white for angels or so forth, with a little elastic headband around it. And I was going to add to Leanne's good feedback from the community. I remember a couple of years ago, there was a young girl, I don't know, she's probably older elementary actually. And we were waiting back there to start, she said, "Oh, this church has the best Christmas Eve." So it's kind of like the shopping, right? I guess we won the prize with the animals, but that's really pretty much it.
Yeah. And I think they give glass jars to the 3 wise people. Those can be boys or girls. And last year we added masks for sheep, cows. Apparently there was a pig in there, I think so. And they sit by
Props really have to do with
sit by the
what
manger.
we find on the day we put on the schedule to go pull stuff out. And so there are a few things, like I think the glass jars mostly stay the same. Sometimes we find the angel wings, sometimes we don't. Sometimes the angels are tissue paper, sometimes we find enough gold pipe cleaners. It it really is simple. We try to make sure we have enough. That's our goal, is that every kid who participates gets to participate. And we try to keep everything clean. Like, we try to take good care of it and that it looks good. But we also try to make sure this is not something that takes 3 weeks to set up and put away. Like, this is not VBS.
Right.
This is, a 20-minute piece of a larger Christmas Eve service. Like, the worship committee and Leanne really do fill it out more than just the kids.
Right.
The kids are just the really fun, exciting part, other than
And
the animals.
the live animals, the kids can come up and pet them and such after this service, but they're there. Sometimes
the most interesting year I would add was when the wrong package of animals came, or a different package of animals with a duck.
It was the wrong one. Yeah.
I don't know, these variations. Nothing wrong with it, but
But wasn't the goose real mad about it and it screamed the whole time?
No,
That's the myth
but
I've heard.
the duck was quacking while I was singing "Leading O Little Town of Bethlehem," which was
makes for a better anecdote.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah.
I would imagine, though I don't know for sure, that having a set of animals and handlers who are accustomed to people and some sort of petting zoo. I wasn't trying to use that word, but companies that do this on a regular basis probably makes that a safer and more enjoyable experience. Would that be your experience?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
I think I did an earlier iteration of this in a different church where we just relied on people that we knew in the ranching community around Amarillo. And they told us on the way out that they would not do that again. That we needed to find professionals because their livestock, whom they love, that's not their thing. So,
well, Donna, correct me, but I think at this point,
sorry, go ahead.
I was say, correct me. Y'all pretty much use the same company. Like, y'all have made a relationship with a company here in Dallas that y'all stick with, right? Am I wrong?
That's correct. That's correct.
Great. And so what would somebody need to be doing in July, August, September to get ready for December?
Well, Donna and I just spoke today, and it's definitely scheduling the animals is a September thing. So, to get on their calendar for that. That's a definite thing. And I mean, I think as Chestnut said, the costumes and that, I mean, you can check those at any point. Probably the earlier the better, but just to have those and have that ready. So, I was
gonna say the gathering doesn't have to be as early, but if you have to replace things, the week of Christmas is never the week you're going to do it. It's always easier to do that sooner. So, like, if you're out of tissue paper, that's actually better to do in August. Like, just get that done, because once school starts, I'm not thinking about Christmas until Advent is here.
Right.
And then you can get red and green tissue paper, but I think some of this, like, do the animals for sure, but some of the small stuff that you need to replace, do the replacement sooner, even if it's going to live in a box in the closet until December 15th.
And it would seem to me that writing the story the narrative would help to direct what you need in terms of collection. Great.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks.
Thank you.
All right. So from low prep to pretty high prep, First Christian Church Corpus, I think for 35 years has had a Boar's Head Festival, and this is an Epiphany celebration. So Reverend Rusty Wright, pastor of Corpus Christi, you've not been the pastor there the whole time.
No.
But talk to us a little bit about Boar's Head. What is it? And I know it's got a lot of moving parts. I've seen it multiple times, but in a simplified form, what are we doing here?
Well, it's actually been over 40 years.
Wow.
Since the early 80s is when they first started it. It took like 5 to 6 years to actually get it going, but it's an Epiphany festival, and it's set in medieval times. And the first part of it is kind of secular, where we have the lords and ladies come in, and they're all dressed in costumes. That's why it took so long to put the thing together, because they made the costumes and they are spectacular. But the first part is kind of secular, lords and ladies. They sing "Deck the Halls" and things like that, and people come in and dance. The second half of it is more religious based, where the shepherds come in, and their venerable one comes in and reads the what the angels said on the night Christ was born. So, and then at the end, we have a very elaborate set that was made by someone who built stages for Broadway, and it's still going after 40 some odd years. And once the triptych opens, which is this large cabinet, if you will, at the middle and the top of the stage, the cabinet opens at the end, at the climax, and you see Mary and Joseph and the Christ child up there, and it's quite moving. I've seen it. I'm in it, but I get to sit there with the dignitaries for each performance. So I've seen it. But what we do initially, this festival was done strictly by the members of First Christian Church. However, as time has gone on and people have fallen away and passed away and moved away, it's getting harder and harder. We don't have enough people within the church right now itself to do that. So we've reached out to the community, other churches. We saturate social media to get people from the community in, and it's a big part. And by doing that, we also generate interest from the community to come and see it. So it really has become more of a community-based event. And it's just a lot of fun for a lot of people. And we also do some outreach work there. We ask people, it's all free for the public, but we do ask them to bring in canned goods for the food bank. And we usually fill up 8 to 10 barrels.
Wow.
with canned goods. So it's great for the food bank. It's helps the community to be involved in that as well. It's just a fun time had by all.
Yeah.
But it's there's a lot of work that's involved in this.
Yeah.
Not so much for the cast. The cast is it should be about 180 people. We've been running it with like 120 lately because
Wow.
it's just hard to get people involved.
Yeah.
But that's still a lot of people. But
Yeah.
the behind the scenes work does take a while. We actually modeled this after the Boar's Head Festival at First Christian University Christian in Fort Worth. We sent some spies up there apparently in the 70s and watched how they did things and modeled it after that.
Well, I noticed that the script is very similar between the two.
Oh yeah.
And I didn't know whose came first. I assumed because I was there a couple of years ago in Corpus Christi that you all came first because you had done it so well. But if I remember when I got there, I had to park out in like Aransas Pass and bicycle in to get a seat.
It's a big deal in the community. It really is.
Yeah. So I'm hearing this a lot in terms of what we've all said, that Christmas is a time when people from the community are more open to church and are more excited and maybe more willing to engage with the church. But I love this idea that you're involving people as the cast from the community.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's out of necessity, but it's also been a great outreach for us.
Right.
Bring people in. So
right. Beautiful. And I would imagine, Rusty, correct me if I'm wrong, but if somebody wanted to do a Boar's Head on par with First Christian Church Corpus Christi, that we're probably looking at December 2027 at this point, given the level of costuming and set design that has to be created.
Probably January 2029.
2029.
Because it took them years to create all the costumes, and you've seen them; they are truly spectacular.
elaborate
and very,
fun.
very they tried to make them period
Specific, yeah,
specific and
historically accurate.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah, it took them a long time, but I'm sure with that, if you don't want to do the full costumes like that, yeah, maybe January 2027 or 2028 would probably be the best thing, because it is an Epiphany festival. It happens
right.
after Christmas. But there's still a lot of Christmas for people in our community. That Christmas really isn't over until the Boar's Head.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah, and we throwing away around terminology probably should have defined our terms. Advent, the 4 weeks that precede Christmas, and usually that's the first Sunday after Thanksgiving, maybe not, but depends on kind of how Christmas lands. But Advent, a time of preparation. The church initially used this as a time to prepare for baptism, and the people that surrounded the baptismal candidates saw a lot of benefit from the spiritual focus that came in Advent, and so made it more of a Christmas, a whole church experience and season. And then, of course, Christmas Eve, a traditional time. Christmas Day, I don't know anybody who has at least disciples, I don't know anybody who has a Christmas Day service unless Christmas falls on Sunday. But then 12 days later, that's where we get the 12 days of Christmas. We hit Epiphany. Probably not the time or the place to get into how we get those 12 days, but I think it had something to do with the Great Schism. But in all of that, right, Epiphany is the completion. There is in both the seasons of Advent, Christmas, and Epiphany, as well as Lent, Easter, and Pentecost, there is a preparation, a celebration, and a response. And Epiphany is that response, that human response to the act of God in the visit of the Magi and the adoration of the masses. So, and Cypress Creek also does something exciting around Epiphany to commemorate the visit of the Magi and the journey of the Magi. I may have gotten out of sequence, Bruce, but talk to us a little bit about the parade with the camel and how that started and what that represents in the life of the Christians there in Spring.
Well, first of all, when at my two previous churches, I presented this crazy idea of doing a camel walk, and both of those churches went, no. And so when I came to Cypress Creek 14 years ago, I suggested it, and they said, sure, why not? So part of it is for purpose of teaching, that I'm always that nerdy guy that when we set up our nativity at our home, the Magi are nowhere near the nativity. They're another part of the living room. We occasionally have them move slightly closer throughout the season of Advent, and then the 12 days of Christmas. Depends on how focused we are that year. But, talking about this, and, it really has helped educate the congregation when we talk about the 12 days of Christmas. So it's always the Sunday closest to Epiphany. And we got our first camel, Gunter. And then it was Larry, and then it was Goby, and then it was Larry again, his other brother Larry, and we just I can't remember what the one was this past year, but we've worked with the same company, and it's always easier to get a camel when you're not trying to do it in or around Christmas. So we meet, we do a one service Sunday, that Sunday, and we meet at Meyer Park, which is about maybe 3/4 of a mile down the road from the church. We meet in the parking lot, and we get the constables involved, and they lead a parade down Cypress Wood. And we get, depends on the year, anywhere from maybe 70 to maybe 110 of our church folk that actually do the parade itself. And it's one of those things that it does get a lot of attention. We are thankful that to date we've never caused a car accident, but it's been close on more than one occasion as people are driving, hanging their phones out the window, trying to film it and take pictures. We also have a lot of youth who then dress up, and we again we always try to do more than 3, communicating that we don't know a number. So just another subtle teaching opportunity. And then we have the camel during worship outside. And so when we send out the kids for the children's time, they actually stay out the entire rest of the service that day and do pictures with the camel. We used to do riding with the camel, but the last couple of camels, I guess for age reasons, have not been up to riding. But they seem to still have a good experience with that.
Right. And is there a liturgy or script that you follow normally, or is it more the movement, the parade, and then service happens?
It's mostly the movement. We have a lot of fun when we're actually in the park at the parking lot there, as it is an incredibly busy park. And there's lots of people that, once they unload the camel, lots of people coming over. And we've had people from the park just say, can I walk with you? Sure, why not? But it gives us an opportunity to talk about the church, to talk about what Epiphany is, a little bit of an education there.
Great, beautiful. Yeah, so a little bit for everybody, what are you doing to promote? Bruce, you mentioned getting the constable involved. What sort of community partners are you relying on? What sort of promotional things are you doing so that people know this is happening?
With it coming right after Christmas, trying to get the word out has always been a challenge. We do have a banner that we put up that announces that, which reminds me we need to do a new one. Something to get done at least somewhat early.
In August, yeah.
And then we actually have 2 banners, one that goes at the front of the parade and one that goes at the back of the parade, as cars are passing us by, and then cars on the other side of the road can see it. But we usually, do some social media, buy ads that we buy, and a few things like that.
Gotcha. Great. Yeah.
Gotcha.
I had a quick question too. Now, is the camel the only figure in the parade? I mean, other than the people?
Yeah, one year we did a petting zoo actually at the church when the camel arrived. So the camel was part of that. But we do a big petting zoo for blessing of the animals and for our bunny hop thing at Easter, and partly just money wise. The camel's not cheap, and so we chose just to have the camel.
Yeah.
I was just curious if the wise men were with the camel or not.
We have youth. We probably have anywhere from 5 to maybe 8 or 9 youth that dress up.
And they dress up as magi?
Yeah.
Nice. Wonderful. Rusty, what are y'all doing for promotion?
Well, I mentioned earlier that we do social media. We saturate social media. We have a couple of people within the church now who are very good, adept at that. And so we get the word out that way. We also have a couple of the news stations around here that actually come out a few days before, very, very, very early in the morning, to look at the set and look at some of the costumes. We'll get a couple of people out here to wear costumes for the broadcast, so they can get an idea of what it looks like. And of course, we have the full orchestra and the choir, and a lot of word of mouth from them that gets people to know that we're doing this. So that's pretty much it. And plus, just the history that we've been doing it for 40 years is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
I
helpful.
don't have to say a lot, right?
Sometimes. Well, we've had lately, but what we've because of this, our numbers were actually going down for attendance. But then we started saturating social media, and we've had full performances. We have 3 performances on Saturday closest to Epiphany, and last 2 years they have been completely packed.
Yeah, I was going to say,
Every single one.
you know, my experience was that your numbers were not dwindling, so that was exciting. Cool. And Northway, what do y'all do for promotion?
We do some social media. Our communications person really likes, and I think she's right to like it, menus where it's just a flyer that it's like, this is everything we're doing for Christmas Eve. This is everything we're doing for Lent or Easter.
Right.
And so we try to create almost like 2 versions of it, because we will hand it out like at day school. We have elementary school Bible studies that happen on campus. And so we make sure to leave that available.
There's a neighborhood, I don't, what is that? It's a neighborhood thing. I don't know, social media.
Jackie does a
plus
lot
the
putting on
neighborhood, chat or something. And then, the postcard that Chestnut's talking about, that we also send out, postcard listing all of the events
Right.
for Advent.
Right.
And we try to do a video invitation for our Christmas Eve things as well. Like I did it last year. I think P-Law's done it. I think it's whoever our video guy can outrun that day that he's up here filming it. We just try to do this is fun and we enjoy it. Come check it out. And then Jackie's really good about just flooding, like I said, so all the social media. She knows which ones this neighborhood pays attention to.
Right.
And so she tends to focus the kids' stuff, I think, more one direction than the other, but I'd have to ask her to know
Right.
how she does that.
Chestnut, did you say you stream that on Christmas Eve?
Sometimes. So, Leanne, do you remember which we stream and which we don't on the Christmas Eve?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we stream that. Both of those. Yeah. Mm-hmm. We do. Yeah.
Which means it may still be up on our YouTube at least.
Yeah.
If you want to see it.
Paula, what are y'all doing you have a sign that gets some attention. What other things are you doing for the Grinch?
We put word out on our outside sign. It's one of the old-fashioned ones where you have to put the letters, in it yourself. About a week prior to the event, we get one of the Card My Yard companies to put out something in the yard. We have really good relationships with the police department, fire department, and EMTs, and they get an invitation to everything that we do. And let's think, the newspaper has done write-ups for us. We use social media. And this year we're going to try something new. We're going to try to have everything set up the week before and have one of the news stations come. And we're going to invite one of the preschools that either from the Methodist Church or the Baptist Church to bring one of their classes in to be actually doing what we do while hopefully someone from the TV station's filming it to show what takes place.
Nice. Wonderful. Well, thank you all very much for sharing your experiences with us, and this is awesome. So, Christmas in July, Christmas in August. There are some exciting things that churches can do at every size and in every capacity, from things that will take a couple of years to put together but have staying power that lasts for decades, to very simple but participatory forms of retelling the Christ story, to opportunities to instruct the community as to what this is, that Christmas is not a day, it's a season, and that season doesn't necessarily begin when the sales go up, but rather begin with the commemoration of the birth of our Christ. And there are ways that we can use literature from the secular world to tell a very sacred story. And so I'm so thankful for the creative ministers we have in the Christian Church in the Southwest. Thank you all for giving of your time. And I hope you find some energy for innovation.